Hi guys, this is Rosa Kelly. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back. If you're new, thank you so much for being here. So today I am here with a book haul. As you probably know, if you follow my vlogs, I kind of rekindle my love for reading. I always read. I used to always read, on my lunch break, at work, or listen to an audiobook as I was driving. And then on 2020, things kind of changed for me and I kind of lost the interest on reading. I just wasn't motivated to read. I had just way too many things going on. I kind of stopped my reading game, and I am happy to say that now I got it back. I kind of, I'm motivated again to read books. And this time I have quite a long list of books that I really want to read on 2021. So I'm doing this goal of reading 21 books on 2021. So let's see how that is going to end up. I did went ahead and create a reading journal recently on my other channel. So I'm going to link that video down below. So basically I put in here all of the books that I want to read this year. These are books that I have been looking up and listening to recommendations, and I'm really interested in reading them. I do not have all of these books, but I kind of was on a mission to getting them. And then also I picked up some other books that seem really interesting that are not necessarily on my list of books to read for this year, but I do have these empty page. So once I finish with these books, or if I want to like switch up one of these books for maybe something that I do have right now, I will create another list of books that I'm reading for 2021 on this page. And then here I have my little library where I'm going to start taking note of which books I do read. I did finish reading here. So far for this year, I have finished 3 books. Well, 5 if you count audiobooks. And I'm currently reading 3 books as well. So I kind of have like this obsession now for 3 books at the same time, which is different. And so anyway, so I'm going to be doing spreads for the books that I do read on my reading journal, but I'm going to be doing those videos on my other channel, so I will link it below as well. And so yeah, so now let me show you the books that I have here. I have a lot of books that I've recently picked up. I have the books that I'm currently reading. So let me start with these ones, because even though I already have them for a couple of weeks, I've never actually did a book haul. So I'm gonna start with this one. So the first one that I have here, which I'm almost done reading, is My Dark Vanessa. This book here is a little bit sad, I'm not gonna lie. It has definitely given me a lot of emotions navigating through this book, but I think it's a very important read. It does have a lot of trigger warnings, so make sure that you review those. If you want to take a look at this book, make sure you read the warnings, because yeah, it could be a little bit sad as well. So the next book that I am currently reading right now is The Lock Every Door. So you can see how the themes are very different. I picked up this book last week as well, and I have been enjoying it so much. This is more like a thriller about this girl who basically needs a little bit of money, so she gets this job sitting this apartment in New York, and it's one of those very fancy apartments, and then things start to happen, and it's filled with mystery. So she is kind of navigating through the things that are happening on this building and trying to discover the mysteries. It also has me hooked. Another thing that I love about this book is that the chapters are really short, so it is really easy to read in that sense, because sometimes I just have 10 minutes to read, and I know this is the book that I will go to, because on 10 minutes I can read a whole chapter. Compared to this one, the chapters are a little bit longer, so this is usually my nighttime reading. And then I am reading this other book. So this next book that I have here is Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. This book is about this lady who kind of lost her daughter, and she is kind of navigating through those feelings. There's this little sense of mystery. So now I'm only a quarter way of this book, even though I started this book before I started the other two. This is a book that I take with me in my purse, so whenever I go somewhere I start reading this book. So I haven't been that far along into this book, but I do know right after I finish my Dark Vanessa, I'm gonna move right into this one a little bit more, because I want to finish these three books before I get to the next set of books that I want to read. Now let me show you the other books that I have on my list to read, the ones that I do have here. I also have an Amazon wish list for the books that I still want to get for my reading for 2021. But let me start with this one here. This is The Dutch House by Anne Patchett. So this book is about this family after World War II. They built this real estate empire, and then their goal was to buy the Dutch House, which is a state in Philadelphia. And so after they get the house, a lot of things start to happen, and they kind of can't let go of their past. So I don't know a lot about this book. I'm always very interested in reading everything that is World War II related. Those are usually my go-to books, as you will see on my TBR here. But I'm really interested about this book, and I just can't wait to give it a go. So the next book that I want to read this year is The Invisible Woman. This book is by Erica Roebuck, and she talks about the story of Virginia Hall, the real-life World War II hero. And so yeah, so I'm very excited again. I love books about World War II. The next book that I have on my list is The Paris Library. Again, this is another book about World War II, and like I said, that is probably my favorite subject to read about. So the next book that I have on my list to read is Becoming by Michelle Obama. I absolutely love Michelle Obama. I did watch the documentary on Netflix, and so I never got to read the book. This is a book that I actually wanted to read last year, but again, I didn't do any reading whatsoever. So yeah, so excited to pick this one up as well. The next book that I want to read is The Vanishing Half. This is a book by Britt Bennett, and I've heard so many good reviews about this book, so I'm very excited to read it. This book is about two twin sisters, and they are both black, but they're white passing, and so one of them decides to leave her town and go live her life as a white woman, and the other one decides to stay and embrace her heritage. So I'm excited to see the contrast on how they, their lives develop. And I know there's a lot of topics about racism and corruption on this book, so it's a very interesting one. So the next book that I want to read is The Family Upstairs. This is a book again by Lisa Jewell, and it is about family secrets and intricacy, and I'm really excited about this book. It has a lot of suspense. So this is like a psychological thriller type of book, so I'm excited to get this one a go. So the next book that I have here is The Lost Apothecary. I'm very excited about this book. Number one, I love the cover. Absolutely gorgeous. And this is about this secret network of women who buy these potions to use as revenge, and I don't know any more than that, so I'm excited to read this. The next book that I have here is Chain of Iron. Now this is a new release, and I have seen so many people do reviews about this book that I was so interested, and I realized this is actually a book 2 of a series. So this is the Chain of Iron, and the first one is called Chain of Gold, which I didn't know anything about before. And so I went ahead and purchased that one from Amazon, but I won't get that book until next week, because I think right now it's on a wait. A lot of people are buying it, so I will be reading that one first and then moving to this one. So these are my extra reads for 2021. This is not included on my TBR, but I'm definitely excited to give this book a go, and it is a huge book, and I really like these images they have, and I think they're just so beautiful. So I definitely don't want to start this book until I read the book 1 on this series, but I'm super excited to get to these 2 books. Next books that I'm going to share with you are a little collection of Jane Austen books. This is actually one set that I got from Amazon. So I'm currently reading Emma, but I'm actually not reading it from this set. I am reading Emma from this other beautiful book that I got last year. Now I'm mainly doing this book on audiobook, so this is one of the books that I kind of stopped a little bit, so I'm kind of going back to this, but I'm only doing audiobook or kind of like read along with my audiobook. But let me show you the other ones that I have here. So these all came on a set and I got these at Amazon. And so this one right here is The Persuasion, and I just think these are gorgeous. This one is Pride and Prejudice. Then I have here Sense and Sensibility, really, really pretty. Then this one is Emma, and this one is Mansfield Park. So I don't know if I'll be reading all of these books this year, but I definitely want to do a separate list of classics that I want to read. These next books that I'm going to share with you are middle grade. So these are books that I want to read, but then also books that the girls will be reading as well. And so this right here is A Tale of Magic. So this is a book about this girl who finds this secret section on this library and finds this book. And after reading the book, she discovers that she is an actual fairy and that she has magic. It sounds really magical. The book is absolutely beautiful. So can't wait to read this and have my girls read it as well. So the next book here is Never After. This is also a middle grade book, and this is about this girl Philomena who lives in a small town in California, and then she finds herself being followed by this character on her favorite book series, which is called Never After. And then after that she goes into this world of magic with fairies and princesses, and I just think it sounds like a really magical story. I love also the fact that this book has very short chapters, so I think it's going to be really quick and easy for my girls to navigate through, and it's just full of magical little details, so I love that one. The next one I have here is The World of Wonders. This was the 2020 book of the year for Barnes and Noble. It is beautiful. So I was reading the synopsis here, and it talks about these kind of being a magical world, but also having a lot of valuable life lessons. I'm excited to get this one a go. I'm gonna read it first before I give it to my girl. And then the next one here is Amari. Now this is a book that I have heard so many reviews about, and I'm so interested in reading it myself. So this book is about, I think this is the first book on a new series, and it's about this girl who her brother gets lost, and I think she's told that her brother is actually dead, but she refuses to believe that, and then she get admitted to this school. The kids on this school have been preparing for it for their whole life, where she gets just kind of get thrown into because she wants to find out what happened to her brother. So I don't know more than that actually, and I'm kind of super excited to give this a go. The cover is absolutely gorgeous, and I think Ariel is actually going to be reading this book before me, and yeah, so we're actually really excited about all these books. And I think that is it for the books that I have to share with you. So I hope that I can motivate you to get a little bit more reading into your life. I know we all live busy, hectic lives. I just think books are just such wonderful escapes as well, and there's nothing better than having your imagination run while you're reading this book. So I hope that you guys enjoy this video. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. Let me know which books you are reading too. Let me know if maybe one of these books have inspired you to rekindle your love for reading as well. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.